So after Abdul El-Say defeated Haley Stevens and earned the backing of Bernie Sanders, this clip shows Scott Jennings attempting to use what I believe is a familiar anti-Semitic talking point. But Abby Phillip immediately pushes back and doesn't allow it to go unchallenged. You can actually see Jennings hesitate once he realizes that. Approach isn't landing the way he expected. As always, watch the full exchange first, and afterward I'll share my thoughts and break down what stood out to me. Let's jump right into it.
Towards the end, let's get into it.
Scott Jennings, your response to what Senator Sanders had to say.
Well, I mean, right at the end, he ultimately said, yes, I want people like Hassan Piker in my political party. We're a Big Tent. He wants people in the party that say America deserved 9/11. He wants people in his party that are out there idealizing Chairman Mao and the like. I mean, this is not something I would be embracing if I were trying to build a political party that could appeal to, mainstream Americans. I think they're going to deeply regret these associations and this continued demonization of AIPAC. AIPAC is Jewish Americans who are choosing to participate in politics. And let's be honest, they're just using it as a euphemism to say the Jews. I mean, that's what they're doing. And I think
Senator Sanders is Jewish.
Okay, so that doesn't absolve him of demonizing other Americans who simply want to participate in American politics.
So Sochi, I mean, do you think that that's a defensible strategy to say, we're a Big Tent, and if you don't want certain people in it, you can get out, but everybody else can stand?
Listen, I think that ultimately the voters will decide here, and I think when it comes to AIPAC, I think the reason why that was an effective strategy for Al-Sayed, and we'll see tonight if he actually wins, is because there was $30 million that was being spent in this race, and part of it is that his message was that this race shouldn't be bought. I think that at the end of the day, you're going to see that in politics throughout the country. This was an anti-establishment year. It is cool to be an outsider, whether you're a Republican or whether you're a Democrat. Look at what Donald Trump has done in the Republican Party. You have Cornyn, you have Massey, you have others who were defeated because Donald Trump primaried those people. And so you're seeing the same thing happen on the Democratic side, where people want fighters. They want people who are going to stand up for working families. Now, at the end of the day, these are going to be fights about who can work harder for the American people. And if someone doesn't want to be part of the Democratic Party, they don't have to be part of the Democratic Party. I will say that a lot of the views that are happening and that Al-Sayed stands for and what he has been saying, those views would not resonate with people in Texas. I think if you were to ask in my home state of Texas anything about socialism or DSA or any of these things, not one voter would understand what you're saying. So I do think that every state is different in this sense. People talk about this Big Tent party. I think it is a matter, the enthusiasm is where are the fighters, whether it's Democrats or Republicans. It's not about party labels anymore, and we have to get over that as a country. People do not like the labels.
I think people are looking at this race totally wrong. First of all, Hassan Piker is not the candidate. Abdul Sayed is. And Donald Trump has associated himself, and many Republicans have associated themselves with questionable people, but those people aren't the candidates either. The candidate has to run for themselves. Whoever wins, I want the Democrat to win that seat. But Donald Trump won Michigan twice. And Donald Trump is so far away from being moderate. Like, we're pretending like we don't live in this country where these extremes, there's nothing about, the Republican Party is the MAGA party now. And it is Donald Trump. Let me finish. Donald Trump's party. And the Democratic Party is actually reforming itself. And I actually am excited about these debates happening in the Democratic Party, because after 2024 and even leading up into 2024, people were like, who are the Democrats? Now, you don't have to like it, but the reality is there's a lot of people in Michigan tonight that did. And you can talk about Israel and Gaza, but we know there are single issue voters, but there are also people who vote for Medicaid, for housing, to be able to afford gas. And that is what a lot of voters are doing. Now, John King pulled up that map. And some of those districts where you think, we don't know what's going to happen tonight, where Haley should be doing better, there should be no reason that somebody spends $60 million in a race and it's even close. That's because people actually get to decide, not dollars. And people in Michigan are saying, it's hard for me right now, and I want somebody who will fight. And that's the same thing they said in 2024 when Donald Trump, not a moderate candidate, said, I'm going to fight for you. And that is what's playing out tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the anger is far less at the Republican Party. I was initially taking issue with your idea that Donald Trump is some extremist from a policy standpoint. I mean, he was
But neither is Abdul. That's the thing.
And I'm not alleging
Actually,
that on Abdul's side. I will say it is wrong
hold on,
to
sorry.
view
You're
Abdul
you're saying Trump is not extreme?
on policy. I mean, he is on gay rights. He was to the left of when he took office.
I'm just talking about like basic stuff, universal
Oh.
tariffs, mass deportations. Those are pretty extreme positions.
I mean, mass deportations. I mean, Bernie Sanders was incredibly for strict border control and
That's
deportations
not the same thing
up
as
until 5
mass
years ago.
deportations.
No, I mean, Barack Obama's probably deported more people than Donald Trump is.
I know, but
the
I'm
idea
just saying
that he's an aberration on
Trump
policy.
But Trump is not moderate.
But one of the
Trump
reasons why he
campaigned on the
won
mass
Michigan.
He's not an orthodox
One of the reasons why he
all illegal
one of the
immigrants
reasons
in
why
the
he won
country.
Michigan is he
And he won.
connected well with the voters who were frustrated with an establishment they felt didn't listen to
Yeah,
him.
and that's happening tonight.
This is
Here I'm
what's happening.
tying
This
it
is what I'm
together.
saying. It's anti-establishment.
But I think the biggest thing, though, is the Democratic establishment. If there was any notion that they were fearsome, and they, in a lot of senses, were fearsome because there was a lot of money behind them, let's put to bed the idea that money in politics is a massively swaying force. Plenty of candidates have been outspent to an extreme degree and have won despite that because they resonate with a sense of authenticity. If you can get that message out, it works. But also the Democratic Party has about the longevity and the stayinghood of like the dodo. I mean, it's a flightless bird that can't really go anywhere. And these insurgent candidates are realizing you just got to go and grab that thing. Like, this is not a hard thing to do. Colorado 3, Diane DeGette, I mean, set aside the New York primaries as well. Like, it is astounding the degree to which I think the center is collapsing within the Democratic Party.
You have no center in the Republic. There is no center at this point
gonna
in either
continue-
party, perhaps.
We're going to continue this conversation on that point after a quick break. We'll be right back. We're still following.
Did you notice what Scott Jennings tried to do right at the start of that discussion? He attempted to frame criticism of AIPAC as anti-Semitism, but Abby Phillip immediately pushed back by pointing out that Bernie Sanders himself is Jewish. That's an important distinction because criticizing AIPAC or questioning the actions of the Israeli government is not the same as being against Jewish people. Those are two completely different issues, yet some commentators continue trying to blur that line whenever Israel's policies are challenged. I also couldn't help noticing the panelist who tried to argue that Donald Trump isn't politically extreme before bringing up Barack Obama and Bernie Sanders as examples. There's a major difference between enforcing immigration laws or supporting stronger border security and advocating for mass deportations that can result in innocent people being profiled or harmed. Those comparisons simply don't hold up, but they're often used to distract from the actual debate. Overall, I thought it was a very interesting discussion. And before I wrap up, I just want to apologize for being away recently. I was on holiday here in the UK with my family while the kids were off school for the summer break. Now that I'm back, I'll be uploading consistently again and sharing my perspective as someone watching American politics from outside the United States. As always, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your continued support, and I'll see you in the next video.